Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to episode 1 of season 2, just in case you're thinking, have we stepped back in time, of the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. My name is Kate Grosvenor. I'm a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella.
That's a new one. Huzzah!
Kate's daughter. And I'm here. I don't know what to say now. That's really put me off.
Bless your heart. She didn't sleep very well.
I keep forgetting that I haven't slept.
Yeah, I know. Bless you. So, should we tell the listeners what you were up to yesterday? What were you up to, Gabriella?
A lot. I did a lot. I had a weekend of organising, putting everything away, sorting bedroom out, sorting clothes out, just having a
dressing table. You did the whole shebang, didn't you?
Just everything, and it feels great.
It feels fabulous, and your room looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you sorted life out, but then you deeped it and couldn't sleep.
Couldn't. I thought I'd go to sleep so well because I was so at peace, and I'd worked really hard over the weekend, and I deserved the sleep, and couldn't sleep till 6:30.
I know, but sometimes when life is great, you deep it.
Yeah, or like when life is changing a bit.
Yeah, and you can deep it, and then it's just like, oh, I thought I was gonna thought they're like the little fairies when they come, and I was like,
I thought so.
Like
but
Snow
I deep
White.
stuff from like 8 years ago.
Oh,
why?
deeps.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, but the thing is, change in general, people resist change, right? A lot of us resist change because we think our brains hold. This is the thing: change can be good, and change can out within old, in within new. But our brains actually resist change because our brains suddenly think, but if you carry on doing the same you've always done, it'll keep you alive.
Yeah.
So our brains suddenly think, I don't want to try anything new because that's really scary. And what happens if suddenly we step into the unknown, and then everything's going to be different, and by the very nature, right? Everything's going to be different, and I have to find out how everything works, and it's all going to be weird. And so I'd rather keep the old habits, even if they don't serve me. I'd rather keep the old habits because at least they're familiar and I know the rules. Than try everything new and I've got to figure it all out again. So that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. So if this podcast is a bit wonky, it's not me, it's her.
Yeah.
Because it's usually me and my ADHD-ness.
Today it'll be me. I'm okay with that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We don't mind. At least it's not me. For a change. Anyway, my lover, my lovely little one. What's the question? My lovely little puppet. What's the question for today? So,
this is from our latest new countries. I'm really excited about this because I track these countries.
You do? I love it.
I love it. So, this is from Fatima in Saudi.
Hi. Oh, hello. New country. It is a new country.
It is a new country for us.
Hello.
We've had a few people, I think it was 4 people in Saudi listen. And Fatima's one of them.
Hi, Fatima.
So, Fatima's also turning 50 next week.
Happy early birthday.
Mm-hmm.
50s, I love 50.
Yeah.
50's a fabulous age.
That's one of the reasons I picked it, because I'm like, we'll make it special for her.
Yay.
So, Fatima has been experiencing severe sensitivity to smells lately.
Oh, bless your heart, yeah.
Perfumes that she's worn for years, and even foods that she loves make her nauseous. Mm-hmm. Is this linked to perimenopause? Yes. And what can she do about it?
Yes, it is linked to perimenopause. It's like being pregnant in the first bit all over again. Okay, so first of all, happy early birthday. 50, gotta love 50. It's a brilliant age. Thanks for sharing your questions. And this is a great one because it's going to resonate with so many women because we don't. I jokingly say it's like being in early pregnancy again, but it really, really is. Because I remember actually pregnant with you was the worst. And the random thing is for some reason, when I was pregnant in the first stages of pregnancy with you, I was really, really sensitive to smells. And right, so in your brain, your sense of smell is right next to, in the limbic system, right next to where you form new memories. So your sense of smell goes through a part of your, goes into your brain in a different part of your brain than all your other senses. So all of your other senses are processed in one part of your brain, and your sense of smell is processed through your olfactory nerve, which is in the limbic system. Right. And right next to that is the hippocampus, which is where I always think of a little hippo going to camp.
To camp, yeah.
And he's got his new memories on his back, you know, off to camp.
That's cute.
It's cute. And so memory and smell is very closely formed. When you've smelt something and you form a memory of it, it's really ingrained. So so for example, your first boyfriend's aftershave. If you smell it, you'll go straight back into, for me, 1980, whatever it was.
You could still remember the smell from the 80s?
Oh my God, yes.
What you wore and what he smelled like?
Yes. You remember I bought that perfume the other day?
Yeah, no, but that was your perfume.
Yes, but you can also remember their smell.
Yeah.
So if you smell, I think, jazz or chorus or, you know, cool
the air
waters.
freshener that you've put in the bathroom. I walked in the other day and I was like, this smells like every man that's ever broken my heart. And Scott was just like, what?
Yeah, so really to smell, or you remember, if you smell, so when I make lasagna, your favourite meal, if you smell that same smell in 20 years, you go, oh my God, my mum's lasagna. So you remember smells, they're very evocative of memories. So I remember when I was pregnant with you, I had the first pregnancy is like horrific, not gonna lie. And I remember listening to Jerry Halliwell's first album and feeling really
Spice Girl.
Yeah,
right.
She released her first solo album when I was pregnant with you in 1999. And if I listen to it now, I get nauseous.
No way.
So look at me.
No, don't. You'll throw up.
I know. It makes me feel really unwell. So
I didn't know sounds and
honestly everything that's linked. So smell is the most evocative of all the senses, and we really process memories with it. But smell is very, very sensitive to a lot of things in our brain, and it really is affected by perimenopause. And there's a number of reasons for it. There's number one, it's linked to perimenopause because of the fluctuating hormones, particularly estrogen. It impacts smell and taste, and smell and taste are very closely linked as well. When we go through perimenopause, anything that's this is going to sound really rude, and it's a word that you hate.
Moist.
This is how well I know my daughters. She hates the word moist.
It's vile.
Anywho, we don't have as much saliva in our mouths during perimenopause. So we don't produce as much saliva. That's why we get dry mouth, we get burning mouth, we get itchy eyes, we get other places that aren't as moist.
That's not funny, but the way you said it was really good.
A little bit dried out there. So our mouths become drier, and that affects the way that we taste things. But fluctuating hormones change the way that we smell things as well. And we notice that scents that we used to love suddenly can become really overwhelming or even nauseating. And
because of the memories, or
no, right now, sorry, that was a side note, but this is like, this can be things like migraines that you can get. So I'm not talking sense. I'll backtrack. Because our hormones fluctuate in perimenopause, we can get reactions like migraines, heightened anxiety. They can make us very, very sensitive to our environment. Yeah. Smells can become overwhelming because of other symptoms that are created by fluctuating estrogen. That's number one. We're very sensitive to our environments in general. That's number two. We have less saliva, which is number three, which makes us sensitive to taste. Yeah. We can have burning mouth because of this saliva, which is number four. We have weird memories that can pop up because of our heightened sensitivity to things in general, which is number five. If you mix all these things together, our body and our mind combined is like an oversensitized trigger. Yeah. So while this sensitivity can be really unsettling, there are a few things that you can do. The good news is there is something you can do about it. First of all, it's very normal, Fatima. So you're not on your own, sweetheart. You just have to. I always say this, and I always say this every episode, and I will say it again every episode, because I'd never want a woman to sit there and think that she is on her own in this, because you're not. this is a very normal symptom. It doesn't mean every woman gets it, but if you do get this, it is very normal.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, identify your triggers. So there are some foods that I didn't necessarily like before I was in perimenopause. And now that I'm in perimenopause, they make me feel physically ill. Okay. Fish is the number one.
But you had a problem with fish when you were pregnant.
I had a problem with fish when I was pregnant. I didn't have a massive problem with fish before I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I developed a problem with fish when I was pregnant. It lessened off when I wasn't pregnant, and now I'm in perimenopause. It makes me physically ill.
Worse than when you were pregnant?
Worse than when I was pregnant. Right. I can't stand...
Is it, do you think, the memories of smelling it then?
So this is what I'm saying to you.
Oh, wow.
So like this is what I'm saying to you. It's a connection between smell, memory, lack of estrogen, heightened sensitivity. You can't separate all these different things out. So it's a combination of things. So number one is just figure out what your triggers are. All right. So for example, Scott, being Scottish, loves salmon and prawn. And I'm not going to do the Scotch accent because I will offend loads of people. So find out what your triggers are, write them down, and navigate them. So if Scott's going to eat salmon, which he is very much entitled to do, and he loves fish, he knows to eat it downstairs and to make sure I'm not around. Yeah. Because I really feel really nauseated about the smell. There's certain... We have many a cat. Some may say...
One too many. Or four too many, or...
And that's fine. But they are hunters. We live in the middle of nowhere, and they are hunters.
So you can't find us.
Yeah.
The way you said that, we live in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
No one would hear you scream.
True story, actually.
Yeah, I know. That's really scary, actually, thinking about it. No one would hear me scream.
Well, they would, because we live with lots of each other.
We live with a lot of each other.
Yes, there's a lot of us. But the thing is that our cats are hunters. We don't. Let's just put it this way: we don't have a rodent problem, other than sometimes the rodents are brought to us as gifts and laid and displayed
in many parts. Sometimes,
yes, not necessarily whole ones, and they're not necessarily been unalived a long time ago.
Unalived, keeping it safe.
Keeping it safe. Yeah. So that we don't get cancelled. And the smell of the unaliveness, I can't deal with.
Makes me want to unalive myself.
Or just makes me want to go, Hoo? So the thing is that Scott knows that, and the rules are clean it up before I come downstairs because I can't bear the smell. So anything that's been unalived, I don't deal with. Can't do that one. So again, I know that's a trigger for me. So it's knowing what your triggers are and explaining them to people. Communicate. Communication is key. Another thing, artificial smells will not do you any good. I've talked about xenoestrogens before.
What kind of artificial?
Artificial air fresheners.
Oh, like
chemical.
Right.
So if you're in the car, don't be trapped in an enclosed space with a really chemical artificial. So you know the ones that you get from the like car cleaning companies that cost like tuppence halfpenny. You know, they're really, really cheapo ones. Really avoid. Really avoid. Have the Glade plug-in things that pump out artificial. I don't know if you know them. Do you know the ones that you plug into a socket and they pump out artificial sprays?
Like Febreze have them. Yeah.
Really not helpful or healthy for you in perimenopause. They contain lots of artificial chemicals that create some like a xenoestrogen type effect in your body that will help create nausea. Because that artificial chemical is not healthy for us. So try and switch to mildly scented, no scented, or things that are scented naturally. So aromatherapy oils. You know I'm big on this anyway. It was one of the reasons I created the lifestyle brand. So that we have everything that I clean with is scented with natural products, aromatherapy products. I don't use any artificial chemicals. I don't use bleach. Everything is like soda, baking soda and vinegar and stuff because your body can't handle the toxins anymore. So really work hard in trying to bin those artificial chemicals because they will be making you feel unwell.
What about perfumes? That's the tricky one.
I mean, okay, here's my take on it. You know, you can stop smelling your own perfume after a while. Yeah. Use the one that you can't smell.
Okay.
So other people can smell you and you can't smell it.
So like eau de toilettes instead of eau de parfums.
Yeah, or just ones that you don't smell yourself. So I use a perfume that I've used for many years. I can't smell it myself. Everyone else can still smell it. we're all good.
Okay.
Use natural deodorants. So there's a lot of companies out there, Wild, Fussy, all these companies that have a natural deodorant. You don't want to be using like the Shore sprays. It's really going to make you choke and gag at this point. And even things like food seasonings. You don't have to be using chemical food seasonings. You can create your own food seasonings from like onion seasonings. Just dry out a load of onion peels.
She
really
lives
cheap.
in Saudi. They've got seasoning.
They've got seasons.
She'll be okay.
They know what they're doing with food. But for the other listeners, try and use more gentle things you can use. The less your body has to cope with, the less you're going to feel nauseated by. Because nausea is created, why? Because your body just can't deal with the amount of toxin. Okay. Another thing is looking after your gut. I talk about this a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm really sorry, I bang on about it. But the two things that you have to do to help yourself in perimenopause, one is manage your stress, two is manage your gut. The more your gut is happy, the less nausea it's going to have. So nausea linked to smell sensitivity can also point to gut imbalance. So eating a well-balanced diet, staying hydrated, and incorporating gut-supporting foods. You know what I'm going to say, Greek yogurt. I eat Greek yogurt every single day. My favourite, as always, Marks and Spencer's, 10%.
Yeah, let's change the world with Greek yogurt.
Hey, listen, when I don't eat Greek yogurt, what happens?
Yeah, you didn't eat it for a few days, and you didn't feel good.
I didn't eat it for a few days because we were snowed in.
Yeah.
So we were snowed in, and we live in Yorkshire. I was going to do a broad Yorkshire accent, and I thought I'd probably get into trouble. But I am actually born in Yorkshire and was raised in Yorkshire.
Why would you get in trouble?
Because people think I'm taking the piss because I do all these accents. But I thing is, right, if I'm going to say Scotland, I'm going to say Scotland with a Scottish
But you're
accent.
also a northern lass. Like,
I am a northern lass.
You can be really northern. It's okay.
Yes. So anyway, we live in Yorkshire. I was born in York and I was raised in Yorkshire.
But I was made where?
I don't know anymore. It's really confusing. Anyway, so we got properly snowed in, didn't we?
We did get snowed in.
We got snow in Yorkshire this week, and I didn't get my Greek yogurt, and my gut was properly out of balance for about 4 days, bloated, really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
because I didn't have my Greek yogurt for about 4 days. It was.
Do you think it's because you've looked after your gut that well that your body's like, where is it? What happened?
Well, to be fair, I have gallstones that came from the sheer volume of medicine issues from when I was poorly with my neuralgia.
Which you need to sort.
Which I need to sort. I know. But anyway, Greek yogurt, what gift from the gods, and fermented foods. So Greek yogurt is probiotic. Fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, all those kind of foods are prebiotics.
I do like kimchi.
Very, very good for your gut. Rowan likes kimchi as well. She always has some in her fridge.
She does, yeah. When I visited her, she did.
She always has kimchi in her fridge. Other things, when you feel nauseous, deep breathing techniques, really, really helpful. I have a deep breathing technique called cocoa breaths. It's on my YouTube. So I invented this technique called cocoa breaths, which is really, really. I can't really show you on a podcast. If you go to my YouTube channel and look up cocoa breaths, my YouTube channel is just Kate Grosvenor Life Coach. And don't forget the S in Grosvenor. It's a very, very strange spelling, I know. But Kate Grosvenor Life Coach on YouTube. Look up cocoa breaths. I think it's one of the most popular videos, and it's very, very easy to do the deep breathing technique. But just in general, when you're exposed to an overwhelming smell, try deep breathing technique to calm your body's immediate reaction. And the easiest way is just inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. That's your body will just focus on that and relax its focus on the nausea. And if you do that a few times, your body should just forget about the nausea. So deep breathing techniques really, really help.
I've got a question actually for you. As obviously I'm not in perimenopause, but as someone who has endometriosis, I do feel nauseous every day and I do want to vomit. I don't think what would help me would help them, but I don't know now that you've said all these things, is it even helping me?
Yes, it will help anybody. The thing is, deep breathing will help everybody with nausea.
But what I do usually is I tend to find gum or something to chew. Because it's distracting your mind. Yeah.
So instead of going for gum, try deep breathing.
Okay.
Because deep breathing does 2 things. It distracts your mind, but it relaxes your body as well. So what happens in nausea is you focus on the nausea, your stomach starts to tense, and it starts to send that reaction to your brain saying, I need to expel. Okay, so if you start to deep breathe, what you're doing is you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. So you're putting the sprinklers on. You're saying, and relax.
Okay.
You're getting more oxygen flooding through your brain, through your body.
Gum might make it worse, actually, thinking about it.
Well, what gum does is, the only thing that gum does is it provides the distraction. Okay, it doesn't do the rest. So try the deep breathing. Go and have a look at the channel. Figure out.
Yeah, we'll do actually as soon as we're done.
Yeah, and just deep breathing does several things. It provides more oxygen to your whole system, which is everybody needs more oxygen.
Yeah,
right. It's a really, really good thing. It helps to
promoting oxygen.
No, it's a really, really good thing.
Shameless plug.
We don't. Yeah, you can buy it on the website. No, you can't. But it helps us massively to relax our brain, relax our body. So if you've got any anxiety in your system, because anxiety is the difference between worry and anxiety is worry is when you're in your head.
Yeah.
So it's a worrying thought. Anxiety is when your body joins in with your brain. That's the difference. So anxiety is when you start to get increased heart rate, your stomach starts to get nervous, your palm starts to get sweaty, your breathing gets shallow. If it's just in your head, it's a worrying thought, and that's not as bad. That's easy to cope with.
Yeah.
So if you can calm your body down, then it's just in your head, and then we can deal with it. Then it becomes an intrusive thought, a worrying thought. We have lots of techniques, journaling, venting, whatever. We have lots of techniques that we can do, brain damping, things that you can see. We have lots of different ways to deal with that when it's just in your thought. If your body joins in, that becomes anxiety.
Right.
And that's a different type of problem.
Okay.
So whatever it is, getting your body to calm down is always a good idea. The number one easiest way to get your body to calm down is always going to be deep breathing. Yeah. And the sooner you do that, the easier it's going to be. So it's really, really good. And parasympathetic nervous system is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Other thing is, if the nausea continues, I would say discuss with a healthcare provider, so your doctor, your nurse, because if the sensitivity is severe and it's interfering with your daily life, like if it's constant, they might be able to explore, are you having migraines? Migraines are actually quite common, and what we call cluster migraines. So migraines, because migraines can be estrogen sensitive. So if your estrogen is fluctuating all over the place, maybe you're not on HRT, or maybe you're having estrogen sensitive migraines, maybe they need to do something about that or give you some kind of help. It could be related to migraines, it could be related to anxiety or other perimenopause related changes. So they need to have a look at that. Other things you could try is things like ginger. Ginger's really, really good for nausea.
Helps me.
Peppermint tea could help as well. But I think the main thing is just to realise that you're not on your own. Again, it's not a fun symptom. Perimenopause. It's not like yay. But the good news is, it will settle. It's another one of those that doesn't. This one doesn't carry on.
Okay.
Once your hormones are settled, it's one of those that will fade. So once hormones settle, it really, really will fade, and it won't. Once the hormones are at a manageable, when they are nice and peaceful. I mean, Fatima, she's nearly 50.
Yeah.
I presume, because she's nearly 50, I presume she's going through perimenopause. I mean, she's on the way to. She must have started perimenopause quite late, and so she's almost at the point where she will be towards the end, presumably. So this will be towards the end of that as well. So it shouldn't be long, my lovely, hopefully for you. And I hope that helps give us some practical.
Yeah, and have a great birthday.
Have a fabulous birthday.
Should we wish happy birthday in Arabic?
It's طيبة إن شاء الله 100 سنة.
عقبال 100 سنة.
عقبال 100 سنة, sorry. Close. I was close. And let us know what you're doing for your birthday. We want to know. All right, my darlings, have a fabulous week. As always, if you have any questions for us, we're now in season 2, and we want to say thank you for helping us get here.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all of you listening in every week, and any questions, do send us a WhatsApp or ask us in the group. The group is on Facebook, and it is Perimenopause with Kate Grosvenor. We put a post in every Friday, close.
At noon.
Friday at noon GMT. Greenwich Mean Time. We put posts in, and you are welcome to ask us any questions. All right, my darlings, take care, and we will see you next week. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.